All right, and we are back. We are about to watch the D1 finals right now. Hurricanes taking on the Jesters. I'm Matty Marshall. I am up here with Nick Sloviak from Team Aftershock, and it's actually the weather continues to get even better. We would like to thank our sponsors for 2011 PSP, Dye, Draxis, Eclipse, and all the rest. Without them, this would not be possible. Nick, what do you feel about this game coming up here?
I feel this is going to be a really good game. The Jesters have been doing consistently well throughout last season and this one. The name's been around for a long time. They've got a lot of solid players who've been playing paintball for quite a while, as well as the Hurricanes. I mean, they've got Billy Bernacchi on the team. They definitely have some experience and some leadership. So this is going to be quite a good game. These are two of the teams you'd expect to see in the finals in D1, and we'll see how they do throughout this season, and where it might take them next year, should they decide to make the jump. But I think you're going to see a very controlled game, with people making some very calculated moves.
Well, I'm hoping we're going to see a little bit more aggression than we watched at this morning, but at the same time, hey man, can't knock them. They're playing for the win. They're playing for the money and the respect, and we're going to watch in about 40 seconds to see which one of these two teams is going to take home here the Chicago win. It's always hard to win in Chicago too. This is definitely not the easiest event to take home. This is mid-season. In the early parts of the seasons, a lot of time you're going to have the teams that haven't been able to get good practices in during the winter sometimes not do as well. Then there's no excuse as the year progresses and you head into the middle part of the season.
Yeah. So that makes me think of something I heard Tim Montrosser say about with the new ruling for releasing the fields, but we'll talk about that after we see this breakout.
Yes. All right, we are about to watch the breakout here, and heading out to the corners. Aggressive, very aggressive breakout by the Hurricanes, heading up in the center of the field as well. So awesome breakout by the Hurricanes, and they keep 5 alive. They completely spread the field, both back bunkers, and then immediately looks like Billy Bernacchi able to get into the bunker right behind the snake.
Yeah, another player dropping off from Jesters, so definitely some aggressive play. Billy powering down the snake here. You see instantly he should be wrapping.
Well, let's see if he can wrap around. Make sure he doesn't want to wrap around into a ball.
Oh, yeah, well, he doesn't need to. He's got 4 other teammates that back him up.
There we go. So nice job as the rest of the Hurricanes are swarming down the field.
Let's say, I'm talking about controlled, calculated paintball. Let's see if we can see some more, some more of that for these upcoming points. But yeah, very aggressive moves by the Hurricanes off the break. A nice move. I haven't really seen the player going up to the Dorito side tower. Then very soon after that, going up to the A, cutting off the field. Nice job of Hurricanes landing on the break, eliminating both corner players going out from the Jesters.
Yeah, so with 1 minute and 30 seconds to go before the start of the next point on the countdown clock, the score is 1-0. And with 14:03, so I'll tell you what, Nick, watching the Hurricanes break out, that's one of the best breakouts I've seen so far. Body language-wise, intensity, they ran very quick to their bunkers. They
Nothing
had their
flat.
Yes, exactly. Nothing flat at all. They had a lot of intensity, and you could really see it's like, hey, they came to win. I mean, I could sense that in their body language. Now, for the Jesters, we couldn't really even see necessarily what they were like because quickly they lost some bodies, and then then all the ground was taken by the Hurricanes. But so very dominant first point by the Hurricanes.
No, that's completely correct. We have to see if what changes the Jesters will make. After that, they lost their snake corner guy pretty much instantly, and as well as their Dorito corner, and they have to decide, hey, and in these games with the points being as they are, as a race to 5, you can't afford to make those same mistakes over and over again. So if you notice, hey, my guy's not making out wide, we got to switch it up. And as a player, you have to be honest with your team when you come back. Say, hey, I took a lot of heat going out there and I got shot.
Yeah.
Let's switch it up. And, when you make it to the finals on Sunday, you better have some different game plans to try and get you guys out there. You got to rely on your skills and your teammates to work your way to get to those key spots and get those eliminations.
And I think another key spot, and it's interesting that you brought this up because it's like, okay, when you head out to the corner, a lot of times guys will come back and lie. Hey, did you get shot in your bunker? Did you get shot on the way out? Oh, I got shot on the way out. you know, which means it's not your fault.
Yeah, right.
But sometimes you got shot at maybe in your first engage in that bunker. We'll get to that in a second. But anyway, so let's look at this Hurricane breakout again. See if the Jesters can get it back up after losing that first point.
Yeah, and they went shorter on the snake side. And it looks like you doing that. They got two eliminations on the Jesters, or the Jesters got 2 eliminations on the Hurricanes on the Doritos side. It looks like off the break, instead of sending the guy shooting out straight on from the snake, he shot cross and was able to eliminate a Hurricane player. Now let's see how they adjust to that, as the Hurricanes don't have any real presence over there except for their back center shooting that way.
And look at this, the Jesters losing 2 bodies out of their bunkers pretty much simultaneously. Not a good sight to see if you are a New Jersey Jester fan.
Not at all,
because they don't have anybody over here on the snake side anymore.
No, it went from a 5-on-3 to a 3-on-3, and you know, I don't know how quickly if it got relayed back and forth, that hey, G2, Shock 2, whatever you want to call it, whatever your elimination call is, but that has to happen. And you know, you play it small, but once that blood gets in the water, you got to learn how to drop the hammer. And you know, it's been something that we haven't seen too much of today.
Absolutely.
At all. I mean, but there's been a lot of chaos.
A lot of chaos.
A lot of chaos.
And some games more hammer dropping than others, but in a lot of these games there's been slim to none hammer dropping.
Yeah, and it looks right now like these guys are just pretty content with sitting in their bunkers and just, you know, getting gun battling. And if that's your thing, go for it. But, you know, you got to get up the field and you got to take it to the other players. And, you know, we'll see who decides to make the first move here. You know, I'm trying to see if Jesters losing another one on the Doritos side, so now it's a 3-on-3 in the favor of the Hurricanes. But
and I think this is interesting to point. It's 3-on-2, right?
3-on-2, sorry.
3-on-2, but check it out. All 3 Jesters players dying out of their bunkers.
Yeah.
Not
almost all of them.
If I'm a coach, I'm going to be livid right now. It's like, look, I can stand if we lose one guy a game or so out of their bunker, but anytime you're losing 3 of your bodies out of your bunker during the game, just losing gunfights or getting dinked, you're not going to win that point.
No, and that's you have to recognize that early, and then, so like you said, you have to be honest when you come back. I lost a stupid gunfight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got shot moving up.
Yeah.
You can't say, yeah, like you said, you can't just say, oh, I got shot on the break.
Because what happens is that affects the game plan. Because when the coach is like, okay, oh, you got shot on the break. Okay, well, so should we hold you up? You know, and now all of a sudden that lie now is affecting, it's cascading and affecting the rest of the team.
Yeah, because what they're going to adjust for you, or the next line will adjust how the other players have to play. Maybe how you have to stand in the box. There's multiple different things that it can affect, but you know, this is where when you're honest with yourselves and that introspection and things you have to work on, you have to bring that back, especially in these games. And let's see if we can, you know, see if the Hurricanes can weed out these last 2 players on the Jesters. I'd like to see, I don't know if that's Billy from the Hurricanes. I'd like to see him getting in the snake. I don't know why. He shouldn't be backing up right now to try and find a shot. If there's no one on the snake side, he could essentially, whoever the Hurricane player is, can get into the snake right now and crawl all the way to their end.
He you know, and this is not something I would normally expect from Billy. Billy's a power player, not a finesse player. Maybe he's trying to add that to his repertoire. This is not the time to do that. Yeah, practice is the time to do that. And get your ass down the snake.
Your other 2 players are along the 50-yard line. You know, here we go. Okay, so he's in the snake, and there you go. All the way. And at this point, it doesn't really matter if the coach of the other team tells you where he is, because there you go, gets the kill. Beautiful. Look at that.
Did you see these photographers bird dogging him as he was walking down the snake?
Yeah.
I hate when I see that.
Yeah. Yeah, but you know, in that case though, like to me, you're a distraction. Those 2 guys have to turn their bodies to you, and then if you know you got your 2 other guys left, they go down the field, get the better angles on the Dorito side, and you know, shoot the guy in the pack. You know, just make them get tight. You definitely take someone out of the game when you have to hug a bunker. That's not a good feeling.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's definitely what you want to be doing. So nice job by the Hurricanes, continue to show a little bit more dominance here than the Jesters. Jesters really just not going to be able to get anything going. First point, lost some bodies, had guys die out of the bunker. Pretty much same story as the second point, except they made it all 5 alive, and then have 3 guys, 2 of them at the same time, dying out of the bunkers just by losing gunfights. That's when you just kind of, as a coach, you take a deep breath and you're like, look, guys, all right, we're in the final. I'm going to let everyone know. I'm not sure if you were aware, we are in the finals. Just thought I'd bring it up. Yeah. Just point, you know, talk amongst yourselves. But yeah, man, it's just really frustrating if you're a New Jersey Jester fan. Now, if you're a Hurricane fan, if you're a Hurricane fan out there, I would think very, very good thoughts right now, because they look great. They look dominant. They looked amazing that first point. They had a little hiccup there in the very beginning of the first point, but they look solid.
No, without a doubt. And I mean, I'd really say I'd like to hear what's going on in that in the Jesters pit. And you're seeing the same. It looks like the guy with this orange jersey that's coming out here. He's been out here, I think, every point. You know, what are you saying as teammates? You know, I mean, some coaches are different than others. Some coaches, you know, they work on getting you up. Some coaches just, you know, give you the game plan, and, you know, they'll slap on the back and say, hey, get out there, do your thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, you as an individual, as a team member, have to get your guys up, and, you know, it's a hard thing to recognize these things as they're happening. You're going to have a long flight home after getting second place to look back at all these things and say, I shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Hate those flights.
Yeah, not fun. So let's see how this third breakout goes for these teams.
All right, so on the breakout, you're looking at your screen. That is the Hurricanes getting up in the center of the field, and he's shooting his gun towards the snake side of the field, trying to keep the Jesters out of that snake one. Now you're looking at the opposite side. That's the Jesters, and they're going to try to make it into snake one. That's the insert bunker, the God bunker, a lot of teams call it, right behind the snake.
And they'll say that the Jesters eliminate a Hurricane player on the Doritos side, and they're 5 alive. So let's see if they can not so much win these gunfights, but stay alive and eliminate some more players. I mean, I don't think we're going to see the Hurricanes making any sloppy moves.
Yeah,
they did a great job that last one. Hey, you know.
Well, they also look tight. Look at them. They're playing their bunkers very tight. Now Billy's making a pretty good move there. Nice job, Billy Bernaccia, getting into the insert bunker right behind Snake One.
And you said that the New Jersey Jesters have to match him. You know, they're up on bodies. Recognize the guy. You're mirrored up. You know, let's get in the snake. Let's work together.
So Billy is mostly going to be worried about that stand-up temple right now, who's got a shot on him trying to get into the snake, and then now move up to the center for the Jesters.
Yeah, and I wonder what the move up the center for the Jesters. You know, if he's going to sit there and hold the lane in front of the snake, and hopefully he can stay on that job. And now we just have to see the Jesters, who are down 2-0 right now. They have to get into the snake. Those guys have to. Right now, there's one guy looking over there. They have to work together. I would have liked to have seen that Jesters player filled out behind their front snake guy.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen that too. Or another thing too is, like, look, they're playing this is a very conservative game plan right now. They're down bodies. I'm talking about the Jesters. They're not down bodies. They have 5 bodies right now. They're up a body, and you see them. They're in their bunkers now. They are, and most of them, a couple of them on their feet, but they have their guns up. But at the same time, it's like you got to be actively working to get yourself in the snake.
The guy, he's not even attempting to do that right now.
No, he's not. He's looking inside.
Yeah, and you've got Billy posted down the tape. You know, going to keep him in, but he's not. If you're worried about losing your gunfight, I mean, at least try. You know, I mean,
and they have been, and maybe they did get yelled at, and that's why they're playing very tentative in their bunkers.
Yeah, but I mean, you've got to play paintball. You've got to shoot your gun, put the guy in, and go.
And a move was made over on the Dorito side, so that's good to see. He made it in there. They made it in there clean for the Jesters. So the Jesters are looking good field position-wise, and they've got a guy up in the center, so this is good. They look very good right now. I really would like to see somebody get in the snake. If they get a guy in the snake, that's going to take guns off of the other guys from the Dorito side of the center.
There's 3 guns are on the Dorito side right now of the 4 that the Hurricanes have.
And what would be great to see right now, I'd love to see, is we get a guy. Okay, first get the guy in the snake, guns turn to the snake. Then he gets around, gets to the 50-yard line, guns switch even more. Boom. Then you get the guy in the 50-yard line, Dorito, and then the guy that's in the center, he's in a launching pad. He can just launch through and run through the center. But that's, again, they should be talking. This is all the stuff they should be discussing right now on the field.
And they're sitting down. The guy in the snake side, he's sitting. Okay, he just popped the top a little bit, but he's sitting there. And I mean, this has been 2 minutes.
And I know we don't like to be quiet, and we're good at talking, but let's just listen for a moment. Do you hear any conversation happening? Is anyone on the Jesters speaking to each other right now? There's zero communication, it seems like. I don't hear anybody yelling from their side of the field.
Nope.
The snake player should be talking to his guy beside him. He should be talking to him. Hey, what do you need? What's stopping you? What do I need to do? Can I put that guy in? Should I get behind you? Hey, let's work this out. Coach should be yelling at him. You know, the guy, there's no conversation going on right now. That's the thing. Communication is huge, both ways, listening and talking.
And think about what Maddie just said, the word communication. Okay, look that up in the dictionary. It's effectively talking back and forth amongst your players. It's not just yelling positions.
Yeah.
It's when you acknowledge your other player that you understand what they're saying, and then you give them feedback.
Yes.
Okay, because I can yell all I want, but if my teammates can't hear me over my gun shooting, or they can't understand me because I'm yelling so frantically, what am I doing? I'm probably creating more chaos.
You're just yelling. Yeah.
And that, I mean, you might think that, hey, that you can say that player is communicating on the sidelines, but if he's not effectively working together with his team, he's not doing anything. And I mean, the Jesters have lost a player, but they've gotten the snake. But I mean, what's he doing? He's sitting there. I mean, he's not contested. He could. Okay,
and I don't understand. The Jesters are playing this point like they're up by 3 points right now.
They're winning.
Like they're winning right now. I do not understand that. And with 6 minutes and 9 seconds left to go, there we go. Now finally making a move.
He's making a move to the snake too, but I mean, he's not. Let's see. He's gonna check his shots. He's, you know, he shouldn't really have that much pressure.
Are they
on
in the 50 Dorito? Can you see from
No, they're not. They lost.
Okay,
the Jesters have lost. So it's a
Dorito.
4-on-4 right now. It's a 4-on-4. The Hurricanes have the Dorito corner, the small Dorito on that side, the center snake tower, and the bunker right
now,
into the
see,
snake.
if this play had been done earlier and he was in that 50-yard line snake with all these guns focused on him, and I don't know why. I mean, I understand why Billy's not in the snake, but why? Again, it's now we're getting to a point where it's gonna rumble. Things are gonna happen. They have to.
I hope so.
Well, I hope so. I mean, they have to. There's no other place to go. You know, I mean, especially with the guy in the center.
And think about paint. You know, are these? We're going to come down to people picking up paint again?
We are.
Yeah, we had to check that one off. This is not the type of paintball you'd like to see, say for the Jesters in a first and second match. You know, but this, if anything, hey, they're going to have to rewatch this webcast and, you know, listen to Maddie and realize that these are the mistakes that you're making. You know,
the Jesters, they're losing this game. They're losing this game. It's under 5 minutes left to play. And now we're actually reaching a point where they're out of paint. So it's going to get super chaotic, and they're not going to be able to use the effective field control that they have because they don't have any bullets left.
And you can see them looking at each other and not saying anything.
And they're not saying anything. It's like they should be this is, again, guys, communication in paintball is huge, especially there's no talking on the Dorito side of the field anymore. No communication is coming at you. You're not getting any information about who is where or who's doing what on the opposite side of the field from your pits anymore. So where do you get that information from? The fans screaming on the sidelines, or one coach who's on the ground level, or your boys around you who are actually participating in these gunfights?
Big players have big games, and they need to step. I mean, they really need to step this up. I mean, you can a little communication going on.
And now they're chucking.
Wow, that was a bad throw.
Well, at least it didn't burst open.
That's true. Should have come down to a 1-on-1. Hopefully, one of those guys remembers that.
Yeah, exactly.
Where that pot of paint is. Yeah, so the Jesters player in the center of the field just threw a pot to his Dorito player that didn't quite make it to him. But I mean.
You know what I will give props to? The Hurricanes for being patient. They're winning this game. They're 2-0.
We are talking about the Jesters. We're attacking the Jesters because they're down in this game. This point's pretty much gone.
There's 4 bodies left alive. They have
minutes.
good field position. They're not talking to one another. You know, this is seriously. And now with 3 minutes and 27 seconds left, now we're running up to a point where even if they score this point, now finally, awesome. He's making a move. Let's see if somebody else can make something happen. I like it. At least Gardner. No, Billy Bernacci taken out off that. Now there's nothing stopping him from coming down the snake. I don't know why he's looking in the inside.
To get behind him.
There's nothing stopping Gardner from coming down this snake. He needs to get his face, his lens in the blades of grass, crawl down here. Okay, nice job. There we go. Finally, somebody is making something happen and on the run through.
And a major penalty on the Hurricanes.
Yeah, and that helped out.
It's definitely going to help the Jesters out, but they sure cannot play another point like that.
No,
at all. I mean, we'll see if that affects. We'll see if that affects. It might have been a minor penalty, but we'll see if that affects the Hurricanes and whether they start with 5 or 4 or maybe even 3 bodies alive. But what a disappointing point that was from the Jesters, you know.
And also, not to interrupt, but I just want to make this statement. Okay, if Dynasty the Russians do talk, but they don't talk nearly as much as Dynasty. If Dynasty gets in a position like that, I guarantee you're going to hear so much talking between those guys, but that's what makes them great, you know. And I've seen games before where, you know, Oliver and Alex had pulled off some crazy shimmying, cut inside. You do this, I'm going to do that. Hey, I'm going to go, and they put together a game plan on the fly that had nothing to do with any information that they got from the sidelines. It had nothing to do with any information coming from the pits. That was just a spontaneous game plan that erupted because 2 players who had played together for years were talking. They had variables in front of them, players in front of them on the other side of the field, and they made something happen down bodies. You know what I'm saying?
They did what they had to do to win.
Yes, that's the point. Good job.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, the end all of this is to have the higher score at the end of the time, or whatever exactly. It may be, to get to 7 points, to 5 points.
Get to 7 or the highest score.
It's about winning, and you know, like we've been talking earlier, when it comes down to that, because we had games go to time. When it comes down to those last 25 seconds, we've had multiple games where they have to score 1 point to tie it or to win. You've got to go, and you know, we're not say you can't. You know, Alex and Oliver have been playing together for years. but that's still no excuse why you can't talk. You know what I mean? If you don't talk, you're never gonna gain that knowledge or learn how to work together with someone else. You cannot play selfish paintball when you get to this level, especially in the finals.
Yes.
Okay. And let me say, we see someone took the timeout. Hopefully it was the Jesters, and they're smacking each other around, saying, "Hey, we need to wake up."
Yeah.
Okay. Because we're coming out flat. We've got the positions.
It was the Hurricanes that called timeout.
Oh. Okay. Well, they do have a penalty, so they did receive a penalty last point. So maybe they're deciding if they are playing down what they're going to do with their 4 bodies. We'll definitely see that here in a minute 50 or 45 seconds. But say that's a blessing for the Jesters.
Absolutely.
You know, and hopefully we can see what's going on, and you know, we're criticizing them and telling them that hopefully they need to do better. And hopefully there's their coach over there, or maybe someone on the sidelines can call them over and say, "Hey guys, this is what's going on." And it's really hard to see that as a player when you're out there, you know. But that's what makes you a good player, a great player.
Well, again, and we talked about this before, it's about taking criticism. You know, no one's perfect, and you constantly have to evolve your game if you want to win out here. And, you know, it's you're faced with the situation. Now, the Jesters ended up winning that point, and we always say, hey, just win, right? But they're still down a body. I'm sorry, they're still down a point. They have a little bit less than 3 minutes. That last point was probably, what, 5-6 minutes long?
Well, yeah, it was a really long point.
Yeah, and, you know, at any point during that time, think about it this way. You saw those moves being made. They could have made those moves earlier.
And you can't let it come down to, hey, I'm low on paint, so I think I might have to go.
Yeah. It's like, well, I don't
have a choice. Don't put yourself in that position.
Yes.
At all. And oh man, it's just not a good feeling to be in, because then you're going to have that. Like I said, I'd like to say that a lot, because it happens to me. It's happened to me quite a bit. You have that long ride home, and you think about it, and you're like, man, it's such a simple thing, you know. For if I just would have done that, but you're never going to know what would have happened. But it's better that you go. It's better that you go forward, and you find out what you could have done than sitting back there and, you know, losing the game alive. You know, like could I have made a difference? Every time I step on the field, I want to believe. I have to think that in my head, otherwise I shouldn't be out there.
So the Hurricanes starting with 4 bodies.
Okay.
Because of that penalty.
And
so that's
maybe they got a bounce. Got bounce. Okay, no. So yeah, 4 alive for the Hurricanes on the break of their 4 bodies that they started with. The Jesters, looks like they have 5 alive, making a quick bump up to their Dorito 2, and then a secondary out to the snake corner. Let's see if their snake player is looking inside from that insert to the, he's looking inside from the insert to the snake. Now he's switched over. And then the Jesters have to work to get him into the snake. Their center guy's making a move up to the tower, but now he's looking on the Dorito side, and that's not really going to help your snake guy get into the snake. I mean, I'm looking at the Hurricanes right now. There's 1 gun, the back center on the snake, you know, and that.
And the Hurricanes, they're going to want to try to even this up and hopefully dink somebody out, at least for them, because, you know, they're 4 bodies. They're not getting somebody, again, this divisional play, so they're not going to get another body come out of the dead box. This is it. They have 4 to rock with for the rest of this game, potentially. Minute and 53 seconds left to play, and that Jester player able to get up to that center bunker, and he did a good job from there last. And honestly, it wasn't really so much him as the players surrounding him that needed to get up the field. But again, the snake player for the Jesters is very tentative in that spot. I mean, there's a minute and 35 seconds left, and he's on one knee.
And there's a player behind him, and the player behind him needs to be like, what is stopping you from going?
Yeah, exactly.
He's
now
wrapping
around.
He's wrapping around.
If you can engage.
Oh, and the Hurricanes lose 1.
Yeah, and if you're wrapping around or standing up and engaging in a gunfight, and no one's putting you back in, and his buddy goes past him and into the bunker.
Great move.
That was a great move.
That's a great move. And look at it. Look at that. This guy, where's this guy been?
Yeah.
I am applauding this guy.
Look at this guy. He's getting in there.
Just say, don't get shot. Know your shots.
Yes, know your shots, and hey, take a breath. There you go.
Oh, careful, dude. But he gets a kill. Now, where's everybody else?
Look at his guy. I mean, okay, here we go. Center guy. But this guy still, I don't know what that guy's doing. Okay, okay. Very tentative. I would sit this player if I was the coach. With this little bit of time they have to tie it up. And at least they're starting to run through now. But look, we're under 40 seconds. There's only 2 Hurricane players left.
And the guy that the Jester player who's on his opponent's side of the field,
and has
got no support.
And there's 2 more bodies, and he's cutting to the center.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. And he gets hit a little bit as he gets in. Then
look at this guy's raising his. He doesn't have the flag. He has no idea what's going on. No one stayed on the tape. Okay, they got him. And there's a minor penalty being thrown up. But you want to talk, if they can rewatch this point and they can see everything we saw, that was definitely the worst way to win that point.
At least they won.
At least they won.
They tied it up. With
10 seconds left, so as long as he's clean, which it looks like he is, it's a 2-2 game, we're definitely going to go into overtime. But, I mean, I want to say I feel bad for the Hurricanes because the way they're playing, they should be winning. I mean, and it's been utter chaos from the Jesters and just a lack of
fundamental
paintball.
Fundamental paintball.
I think Nicky T does some fundamental paintball thing. Maybe you can watch his video or his podcast that he does, but I definitely think that all the Jesters need to watch that.
Well,
and wow.
I don't know what is going through the mind of the player on the Jesters at the insert bunker when his buddy behind him slides past him, gets into snake one, immediately goes all the way down here, starts clocking in, going to work. Then instead of cutting in and helping him, blocking out the remaining players with those center bunkers, he cuts to the inside where they already have three bodies. And then also they could have been able to move up there a little bit more. It's just now, hey, look, they won the point, so hey, like we always say, just win, baby, just win.
Yeah.
They won the point, but if they seriously, these guys are playing for the Division I title right now, or the Division I Chicago championship here. The thing is that, you know, they want to go pro. You want to go pro, and I mean, if you take that game to the pro division, you're going to get eaten up.
I mean, say it wouldn't even go half of that. You know, and
so yeah. So we'll see how this. Now we're heading into sudden death overtime. So,
and I'm to say the clock's counting down to 15, 14. There's no one really on the field.
Yeah, we don't have any bodies on the field.
It's 2 minutes. Okay, I'm sorry. 2 minutes and 10 seconds. So we got plenty of time for both teams to take the field. Hopefully they get together, they set up a game plans. But the Jesters,
I would be livid, honestly, if I was the Jesters. Whoever is in charge of making sure the Jesters are playing the best paintball that they can play, I would be absolutely livid right now with them. I mean, I would be happy. I'd say, look, hey, I'd be giving a high five, and I'd be like, look me in the eye. Tell me, can you play better than this?
Yeah, and
I'd hope to God they would nod their head and say, absolutely, yes, I can.
And they may win this. They may win this tournament. They may win Division I, but they definitely need to, a reality check and being like, hey, fundamental paintball was the best way to put it.
Absolutely.
Because they were not playing that. And then for you guys watching, the basics of it is you need to go. I mean, they were down 2-0. And yeah, now they've tied it up, but their players need to make moves. I mean, you're assigned to go somewhere to do something for a reason.
Yes.
And if you can't do that, you need to be taken out of the equation. And
yes.
I'm sorry, that may be cruel, but that's just the way it goes. Because like I said, it's winning. It's whether you win by an inch or a mile, you got to win.
Yes.
And I mean, thank God, one of the Jesters, the corner snake player, saw that their guy wasn't going anywhere, and he made a move. But he made a move that could have happened a minute or two earlier.
Yeah. And another thing is, like, let's talk about the Hurricanes for a second. Admittedly, the Jesters have not played great paintball the last 2 points, but guess what? They won those 2 points. So if I was the Hurricanes, if I'm Jeff and I talk to Jeff or I talk to Billy, I'm going to say, man, I watched the game, and we got to talk, man, because I know you guys can play better than this.
No, the first 2 points were great.
Yeah, the first
two.
They
may
were
have gotten
awesome.
a penalty.
Yeah.
And hey, your game plan. What I have to say to that, though. I mean, say I'd rather see them execute a crappy game plan 100% than, what is it? Yeah, I can't even figure it out. What I'm trying to say.
I know what you're trying to say, though. But the thing is I agree. But they came out. What they really let happen was they really let that penalty affect them mentally. They started clamming up.
Yeah.
They got to put the clamshell on, turtle shell, whatever you want to say, dig the trench. But they went out there and basically they're playing like they're going to get that body back. Not going to get that body back, man. They're not getting them back.
Well,
it's
here
just
we go.
you. And they still have four.
They're down a and they lose one off the break. Wow. Now, let's see how this affects the Jesters if they can pick up on that.
And the Jesters 5 alive.
And you know what? Let's see if their snake guy can.
I can understand the more methodicalness now, okay? Because you got 50 minutes on the clock. This is an unlimited time limit,
which it's not going to go to.
I'm gonna commit seppuku and jump off this railing if this game goes longer than 20 minutes. But
wow.
I don't think there's enough paintballs to pick up off the ground on the field for the game to go that long. But there we go. Awesome. Made the move into Snake 1. That's a great job. Now that's what I'm talking about. Now get into Snake 1. Now what is stopping you from it getting? Oh, and he comes out into a ball. So
this kid needs talking to.
Yeah.
But okay, so hey, we're still the Jesters are still up 4-on-3. Okay. What needs to be happening now is that communication. Whether it's from a coach back and forth, that ripple effect back across the field. They should have seen the body, the dead Hurricanes body walking on the field. So hey, guys, we're up to they're down 2 bodies. Okay, they got 3. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the closest player on the Dorito side of the field is back center. That's the closest player to them on the Dorito side of the field.
And he's holding back essentially 2 Jesters players.
Yeah.
And
one gun, too, because both of the other guns are looking at the Dorito side. Now he's going to run out there. If he dies, that's going to be real bad for the Hurricanes.
Yeah, and now let's see what the Jesters do. I mean, we got a guy in the Dorito 2. He's kind of sitting there. Looks like he's loading. There's a guy behind him in the Dorito corner, and I know, because I've played this field, that he's really not doing anything.
Yeah.
He's not shooting on the tape. He has to wrap, okay? Jesters make a move to the 50 Dorito. Okay, excellent. Look at that. Just direct support behind him.
Nice.
Hopefully there's a line of communication there. I'm shooting inside, you take the tape, vice versa.
Yeah, exactly.
The snake side, the guy in the back center, I'm not sure. Okay, now he's moving back out of there, and he's going to the corner. Okay, well that's good. And he's got to talk to his tower player. But now I guess the next big thing now is who gets the next kill and who adjusts to it. It looks like the Hurricanes guys they're not going anywhere. Well,
the Jesters are definitely putting themselves in a position to best take advantage of the numerical superiority they have. They don't have a lot. They only have a 1-body advantage, but still, that's big.
It's very big. Yeah. As long as they use it accordingly. And you know what? I hope everyone, both coaches in both pits said, hey, take out an extra pod for this one.
Yeah. Oh, or 2, an extra 2
because
pods.
This looks like it could really come down to who has the most paint.
From the Hurricanes trying to get in that snake. There is nobody in the snake. But the thing is that, and this is why you do drills at home. You do drills, and when your guys are doing drills, when it's say 4-on-3 or 5-on-3, what you're doing is put a time limit on there and grind it out. But the point is that if in 3-on-3, theoretically, that's each gun is matching a gun, right? Well, if it's 5-on-3, then there's 2 guys who technically aren't getting shot at, who shouldn't be getting shot at, right?
Correct.
Okay, so 4-on-3, there's always going to be a guy, at least one, who's not getting shot at. So if you're not getting shot at, how are you? If I'm not shooting at somebody and I'm not getting shot at and I'm not making a move, what am I doing to help?
How do you make yourself combat effective?
Am I talking? Yeah, exactly. How am I combat effective? Am I talking? If I'm not doing one of those things, if I'm just in my bunker kind of looking, thinking, what should I do? What should I do? Well, then you didn't walk the field well enough, or you got to step it up.
Yeah, and they say the Jesters really need to feel out how to close this game out with that body, and working together to put someone in to let their next guy make the next move. And it's definitely not an easy thing to do, but the more drills you do at home and the more times you practice these things, and say they get elimination now, they eliminate a Hurricane player, so now it's a 4-on-3 or 4-on-2. I'm so up, but the Jesters lose 2 bodies at the same time. Now it's a 2-on-2.
Wow, and the only 2 players are stacked up Dorito 50 and 50 yards. I was going to say Billy Bernaccia. It's his game to win right now. This is Billy's game to win. If they let Billy what? Do not stop there. Okay, they're checking off. Nice job. Billy should be very careful right now.
He's going to dink them both inside.
Oh, nice job, Billy Bernaccia.
That's it, the Hurricanes.
Going to do it.
Wow.
Wow, that was awesome.
Hey,
congrats.
The Jesters they need to take that look, like what Billy just did and how the Hurricanes played. Read that book.
Yes,
how this game was won and played.
Hey, look, all of the games that we're doing will be up on YouTube. So I would advise anyone that played in this game to watch it and take out your notebook. An awesome job by Billy Bernaccia there at the very end to come down and win it for the Hurricanes. So congratulations to the Hurricanes. They are the D1 champions here at the Chicago Open as they spill out, hugging each other and tackling. And hey, I'm sure they're surprised that they won it because it did not look good.
And you know what? Hey, and I'm proud of them because, hey, it definitely could not have been easy for those 4 guys to line up knowing, hey, we're down a body, we let them come back. That stuff gets in your head, and you got to think, hey, never stop fighting. It's not over with until you get to the maximum level of points or that clock says 0.
Yeah.
And it's a testament to, it's obviously true in this case because it went to overtime. So that clock, they made it that far, but you never, ever stop fighting.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, exactly. So great job to them Hurricanes, D1 champs. We're coming at you with the pro final. Do not go anywhere. We got the Russian Legion. They're taking on Dynasty. Do not go anywhere. Should be the best game of the tournament. We'll be back in just a few moments.